YouTube? Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. My name is Cole Whip, and we are here with episode 11 of your No BS guide to the best guns inside of Modern Warfare Zombies. We have 4 more weapons for you today. First, a quick word from this video's paid sponsor, Messy Modding. They're a Call of Duty service company. They go in and unlock camos for you, including Interstellar and Borealis. They have pre-made accounts, nuke services, schematics, and more. If this is your thing, go and check them out. There is a link in the description down below. As a reminder, all guns in this series are tested at epic rarity. We're going to be kicking this episode off with the Kastov 7.62. Let's get into it. When it comes to ammo capacity and mobility, I'm going to rate this gun an 8 out of 10. You got 80 rounds in your magazine, 600 rounds in reserve. The gun fires relatively slow. The handling is pretty decent for an AR. It's pretty snappy, and the reload is just as snappy as you see right there. So yeah, a good 8 out of 10. Let's head on into crowd control and bosses, and we can sum it up in just one clip. Now, this gun was recommended by Robert Bossman. He said he was using the Kastov 7.62 for a weekly challenge, and it was just slapping. Well, I have to agree. I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10 as well when it comes to crowd control. We do not have Deadshot Daiquiri. We do not have any ammo mods on here. And as you can see, we are able to just rip through all of these zombies that are trying to attack us while we're trying to fight this bounty mega abomination. And this gun was super solid for me all game long when it came to taking out the hordes of zombies. It does have a relatively slow fire rate, so you do got to kind of keep that in mind and try not to really get yourself in too many of sticky situations. But as long as you're training up your zombies and you're giving yourself the best chance, you're going to absolutely shred through those hordes. Let's see how it does against this mega abomination. Now, I'm going to go just a little bit lower when it comes to bosses. I'm going to go with a 6.5. Now, while this gun was very solid at taking out this mega abomination here, once we got Deadshot Daiquiri on the weapon, and once we got like a proper ammo mod that helps out with particular bosses, whether that be brain rot with mimics or with mega abominations or napalm burst with your manglers and so on and so forth, you understand the concept I'm going with there. Once you equip those two things, it does get even better. But just as a base weapon, where we stand right now with just an epic tool and nothing else with it, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Let's go ahead and move on to the build and the final rating. All things considered, I'm going to give this gun a 7 out of 10 as a final rating. It is a very solid weapon. It's a very good choice to take inside of Modern Warfare Zombies. It is a fun weapon to use. It doesn't really have any major downsides. It doesn't have any major upsides either, but overall, definitely an above average weapon here inside of MWZ. The build is up on screen. If you would like to try it out for yourself, that's the build we used. Go ahead, give it a shot. Let's move on to the M13C. Before we get to that, we need to give a shout out to Dream. She is the latest member of the Cole Whip Army. Thank you so much, Dream, for your support. If you too would like to learn how you could become a member of the Cole Whip Army, click that join button down below. It comes with a number of great benefits, and it is an awesome way to support me as a content creator. Thank you again for your support, Dream, and welcome to the Cole Whip Army. We're going to go with an 8 out of 10 when it comes to ammo capacity and mobility for this M13C. You have 90 rounds in your magazine, 675 rounds in reserve. If you build the gun out for mobility purposes, it is a very quick, very snappy, very fast firing weapon. So 8 out of 10, let's move on to crowd control. 5 out of 10 is the best I can do for crowd control with this weapon. I just found that it just was not efficient at taking out large hordes and keeping them off of me. This one we're kind of handling okay, but we had a lot of space. And if you don't have a lot of space, it just doesn't kill them quick enough. Now, of course, if you had a legendary tool, yeah, that's going to make it better. But we all don't have the legendary tools all of the time when we're playing the game. So that's why we do this series with the epic rarity. And when it comes to that, 5 out of 10 is the best I can do for that. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, please hit that like button below. It is a great way to show support and help these videos grow, to help this channel continue to grow. And I thank you all so much for your support. And if you have any comments for any guns that you'd like to see on future episodes of the Gun Guide, go ahead and drop that comment in the link down below. Or you can join our Discord if you're looking for people to play Modern Warfare Zombies with, or just to connect with me and to stay up to date with what we have going on in the community. The Discord's a great place for that. let's go ahead. Let's move on to bosses. Now, this gun did not do itself any favors against this bounty mega abomination here. I'm gonna have to roll with a 4 out of 10 when it comes to bosses. I had several boss fights during this gameplay, and toward the end, I had both the Kastov 7.62 and the M13C with me in this gameplay as I was doing the testing on both of those. And come towards some of these boss fights, I had to switch over to the Kastov 7.62 because I was really struggling with this M13C. As you can see, we're getting these constant laser attacks from him here, and we're not doing a whole lot of damage at all. Definitely a little bit below average. Of course, it'll be better with legendary and with brain rot or napalm or whatever you have it there for your ammo mods. But there we go. Let's move on to the build and the final rating. I'm going to give this gun a rating of 5 out of 10. It is nothing more than average. There's nothing special at all about this weapon. It will get everything done that you want it to get done in game, but it's not going to get everything done as efficiently as you would like. It struggles against hordes, it struggles against bosses, and there you go. 5 out of 10. The build is up on screen for you, and let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Now, next up, we have a pistol from MW2, the GS Magna. I seen a couple of comments recommending this weapon, and then it was recommended once when we were live on stream. So I wanted to go ahead and give this weapon a shot. Now, I am not going to rate this on its ammo capacity and mobility, primarily because I never had this weapon leveled up. So I don't really know how much ammo capacity that you're actually going to have with this weapon once you're using the proper magazine and everything with it. It is a pistol. It is very mobile, so you're not really going to have any issues along those lines. But I'm not going to give it a rating because I don't really think that it's fair, since I can't really put my own attachments or anything on the gun that we do that. But we'll go ahead and we'll rate it with the crowd control and the bosses, and that's really what matters, right? So let's go. Now, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 when it comes to crowd control. I'm going to try not to hold the very small magazine size that I have in this pistol, simply because I couldn't put a larger one on it. I'm not going to hold that against it. But as you can see, it does handle the zombies okay, as long as you're hitting the headshots. It is an automatic pistol. It does fire very quickly, and it does have very heavy recoil to go with it as well. So you got to hit your shots with it. If you're hitting them, it's pretty efficient. But if you're not hitting those shots, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. You got to hit the criticals. And I was constantly running out of ammo. But again, I'm not going to hold that against this pistol. Not right now. We'll go with a 6 out of 10 if you're using it properly. If you struggle hitting your shots, I would not recommend this weapon for you at all, as it's not going to be good for somebody with not a whole lot of recoil control. Let's see how it does against bosses. Now, when it comes to bosses, it insta kills them. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a glitch. Let's get another one. Okay, 5 out of 10 when it comes to bosses. I'm gonna be real honest. I thought this gun was gonna be a whole lot better against the bosses inside of the game here. And while it wasn't bad, it did some okay damage at times. And I even have the napalm burst in this fight, and I'm just not really chunking away the damage the way I honestly expected that I would with this particular pistol. But nonetheless, it functioned about average, about what I would expect. So, well, I guess not what I would expect. I expected better, but what should be expected out of an average weapon. There you go. Let's move on to the build, which isn't even a build, and let's give it a final rating. All right, we're going to go with a final rating of a 5 out of 10. It's about average. I expected better out of this. I really thought it was going to be better. The non-build that we used was right here because we never had it leveled up, so we didn't put any attachments. I'm sure it'll get a little bit better with attachments and probably a whole lot better with the legendary tool. But we have one more gun for you in this episode. Let's go. All right, and last up for today, we have an SMG from MW3, the Striker 9. Now you have 100 rounds in your magazine, 450 rounds in reserve. It's a very mobile gun. It's a very fast firing gun. We're going to give it, let's just say an 8. Maybe not quite an 8. Let's go with a 7. That's not a whole lot of ammo. That's just not a whole lot of ammunition. So we'll go with a 7 out of 10 for the ammo and capacity. Let's see how it kills some zombies. Now, I'm only going to go with a 7 out of 10 for crowd control, and the primary reason behind that is the gun fires so quickly. You got to reload very often, and you do not have a very large reserve, so you're going to run out of ammo. Ammo was a problem for me with this weapon all game long. See, we're running out of ammo right here. We're killing zombies good. We just don't have the resources to maintain it. I would definitely recommend carrying a mags of holding with this gun, as that'll let you get a whole lot more killing in a whole lot quicker. We took out that mangler pretty darn quick. We do okay against this disciple once we stop his healing, and overall, it's a really good solid gun. It's just held back by that ammo and the need to constantly reload. Now, I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10 when it comes to bosses as well. You see, we chunk away some damage here with this Mega Abomination. But again, the same old story. You're held back by the ammo capacity and your magazine size. Like I said a couple of times already, mags of holding does make this gun a whole lot better than it is, but it does chunk away damage. It does very good damage. This is a very, very solid weapon to use. You just got to be mindful of its pretty much one and only flaw, and that is its magazine size and ammo capacity. Let's move on to a build and a final rating. Probably the easiest final rating of all time, 7 out of 10. The build that we use for the Striker 9 is up on screen here. If you would like to try it out for yourself, I definitely recommend it. It's definitely one of the better SMGs inside of the game. And that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Cole Whip, and I'm out.